Arsenal 2, Leverkusen 0 on the night. Commanding performance from Arsenal through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. 2 absolutely cracking goals it took to defeat their keeper from Eze first and then Rice. Just a magnificent night for Arsenal. Right in the wave of momentum that we continue to generate this season. I'm absolutely pumped. That was just a fantastic result. Let's get into it. This is the Real Arsenal Deal podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Real Arsenal Deal. Rab here, as always, your host. How is everyone today? If you're like me, you probably have you're grinning like the Cheshire Cat, like I am at the moment. Welcome to another instant reaction podcast. I'm talking about the Leverkusen tie that finished just a few minutes ago. I'm recording this pretty much first thing Wednesday morning here, Melbourne time, Australian time. So wherever you are joining me from around the world, welcome. I hope you're well. Hope you're safe with just everything that is happening around the world at the moment. It's difficult, right? It's difficult in so many respects. There's so many people across the planet that we share. Sometimes, look, it's not about an escape necessarily, because there are some very, very serious topics that demand our attention and focus and should be called out. However, every now and then we all need a glimmer of hope as well, just to keep us, upbeat, positive, moving forward through the world, trying to be good human beings. And I find very much that what Arsenal are putting together this season, especially in the last few weeks, off the back of just that incredible moment for Max Dowman over the weekend. It shouldn't be lost as well, by the way, that Gyökeres scored first as well. That was, I guess, technically that was the winning goal, and that Dowman sealed it. It was just unbelievable scenes, just chaotic scenes, that the type of thing that I have not experienced in a long, long time. And I'm sure you're just like me, right? You've watched every clip. You've watched every replay, the compilations, the different videos from fans in the stands, from top, below, at ground level. I just want to watch it all again, right? It was absolutely amazing. And I'm so thrilled for Max, his family, for the club as well. Just everyone associated with Arsenal Football Club who has helped develop and nurture him along the way. And of course, all the senior players as well on the pitch who gave it, they're all absolutely believed. And I've got to say, the energy that Arteta was transmitting as well through that match, and here again against Leverkusen, very upbeat. He's very, very positive, very encouraging. There's a different energy now to Arsenal as we're closing in. We're mid-March now, right? And there's still a long way to go in so many respects, yes, but we are really closing in on crunch time. This is where legacies are written. This is where you rise, you suffer, and players write themselves into the history books. And Arteta is doing it as well. Just the way he's laser-like focused, but it's transmitting in such positive, encouraging energy on the pitch, and the players are doing it. Rice, look at the leaders stepping up. The guys like Declan Rice, Gabriel. There's too many to name right now, but collectively amongst Arsenal, this spirit, this unity. Some of the clips I've seen, even pitch side, like behind the Arsenal dugout, you look at all the players who just charge out onto the pitch. Players who are not even, I guess, getting as many first team minutes as I would like. The likes of Ben White. Great to see him start here tonight, of course. I'll come back to that in a second. But everyone from Ben White, Lewis Skelly, Jesus, it's an incredible atmosphere and energy at Arsenal, and it's so palpable. It's just what we've been calling for, right? For so many years following Arsenal, we've wanted this. We've wanted to be in this position. Now is our moment, and I strongly, strongly believe that we are on the way to something very, very special this season. So that was a long introduction, was it? A long preamble to say we've done it again tonight. We've ridden the wave of that energy, and from the get-go against Leverkusen, I'll come to selection in a moment, but just the way we started this match, we were very business-like. We were just down to business. We were just there to get it done. There was a ruthless energy to Arsenal from the opening all the way to the end. What was really noticeable to me is that Arsenal have an intention now to take shots. We have been taking shots from positions where, look, we all know what I'm referring to here, that whole horseshoe of death sometimes, where we're in a central area where we could create or do something, but we'll sort of knock it away sideways or backwards. This was different. This was an Arsenal who just wanted to take shots on strike. And that's what we need sometimes, because you never know what's going to happen. In fact, there was even one moment in the first half. I'm not sure who the ball was coming into. Was it Eze's shot and Trossard got in the way, or was it the other way around? I'm not quite sure. But they almost found themselves in that very interior space, almost got in the way of each other. And look, that's going to happen sometimes, because it's the intent behind it. They're drifting inside, waiting for the ball to be played across, and with the purpose of striking it first time. And in that moment, they kind of got in the way of each other. And although Trossard did extremely well to still get a shot away, very well saved by Leverkusen's keeper. By the way, I had massive flashbacks to the prime, anyone from David De Gea to Donnarumma last season. How could I forget him? The ghosts of Donnarumma haunted us against PSG last season. There have been times Manuel Neuer as well. Like, how many times over the years we come across in a random football match and a goalkeeper just turns out worldy saves after worldy saves. So he did really well, and it took some special goals to get past him. So have to give credit where it's due. But going back to my point, that Arsenal took shots, and you could see the energy in them. Even Gyökeres, as the game went on, he wanted the goal. You saw the disappointment on his face as he saw that his name was coming off for the finals. He wanted a goal. They all do. This attacking instinct, this killer instinct that long we've kind of been what's the word? We've been lacking. We've been lacking in that for so long, and it costs you. You get to a certain point of the season, crunch games, crunch time, and that lack of a killer instinct in front of goal, it costs you. But Arsenal kept huffing and puffing, banging the door down. We didn't let our heads drop. It was on to the next one. We'd take a shot, it'll be saved or blocked. Some of the defending from Leverkusen as well was fantastic. You have to give credit to them. This is the team throwing everything, throwing bodies behind the ball at times. You have to give full credit to them as an opponent. They were very, very tough over the 180 minutes to break down overall. But we didn't let our heads drop. We just kept going on to the next one, on to the next one. That's their mentality. Because so many times historically watching Arsenal, we would have moments of dominance. Long periods, actually, 25, 30 minutes, or a half of football, we're just dominant and we can't get through. We can't find a way to put the ball into the back of the net. And all it takes is, we all know what I'm referring to here, they go down the other end and you get nicked on the sucker punch. It's happened so many times to Arsenal, the randomness of football, but we didn't leave it to chance tonight. We didn't allow that. We just said the next one, the next one, the next one. And eventually you get rewarded for that positivity. So I'll come back to the two goals itself in just a moment. What I should do is just recap the opening of the game in terms of selection. It was really nice to see Ben White named in the starting lineup. Like, that's the first thing that stood out to me when I saw the team before kickoff this morning. Great to see him start. Obviously, his body is ready to start, and it was interesting over the weekend that Mosquera came on ahead of him when Timber went down with what looked like a groin injury to me, but I'm not sure of the severity. Maybe at the time that it was felt that White his body couldn't do 60 plus minutes in a Premier League match, but he was given the nod side. That was really pleasing to see. Probably pre-planned as well to give him, say, 65 minutes. Same with Trossard as well. You got to protect them, because such is the nature of Arsenal's season that we get a couple of players back. Like back in the match day squad tonight has been White and Trossard, but then you lose Timber. It's just you come in, you come out. It's just been the story of Arsenal's season, and there are still a few players still to return, hopefully soon on the horizon. Guards one, that injury just continues to sort of nag away. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready for the weekend, but let's wait and see on that one. So great to see White, and he just looked like he belonged. It looked like the Ben White of old, linking with Saka, just the triangles they form on the right-hand side, the overlap you get from Ben White. It was great to see him, and protecting him as well. You don't want to overdo it, because we've been there before. Remember earlier in the season where White worked his way back into the starting lineup, and I think he made, was it 3 consecutive starts? Someone please correct me, or was it 4? And I think on the 4th consecutive start in the space of like a week and a half, 2 weeks, that's when he got injured as well. And you could kind of see it coming. It was preventable. Great to see him back. The rest of the lineup pretty much took care of itself. Lovely to see Eze continue to be given the keys in that attacking midfield role. And he is someone who is just growing and growing now into this season. I've heard this has been mentioned, it's circulated a lot, so I'm sure you've heard it too, but there's something about Eze from February, March, April onwards. They call it the sunshine period. This moment of the season, Eze's stats in terms of goals and assists, he's got a hell of a track record at this point of the season. And wow, we're actually seeing it unfold. He was excellent on the weekend against Everton. He took a number of shots on goal, really tested Pickford repeatedly. He was kept out by some key saves as well. And this is what we want. This is why you buy someone like Eze, because you want that game-changing, match-changing difference, a flash of brilliance in a moment like that, a world-class finisher with that killer instinct. That's what we wanted. And you sign him, you pay the money for it, and then you cash in at this time of the season. You give him the keys, you give him the ball, and just let him do his thing. He's got the flair, the skill, beautiful ball striking. What an absolutely unbelievable goal that was. I've watched it on slow motion so many times already that they showed it so many times at halftime. I was looking online. Just an amazing strike. And that's what it took. That's what it takes to be when a keeper is on, like Leverkusen's goalkeeper was. Full credit to him again. He was outstanding. It takes an absolute banger like that just to knock the house down and to say, pick that one out. Like that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to strike it. And you're not going to stop me. Just a magnificent goal, a huge moment, 36 minutes on the clock. I think up until that point, Leverkusen had made maybe 4 or 5 saves. This is on top of, and Gabriel would be very disappointed, by the way, a couple of headers that he didn't even get on target, so they wouldn't register as saves or shots on target. In fact, I think one came off his shoulder from a corner. So you could see the disappointment in his face. He knew that he should be doing better with them, and he would absolutely bury them 9 times out of 10 otherwise in training and whatnot. So it was great to see Eze just take the shot, take the responsibility on himself, and he struck it so sweetly. And the way the ball is just fizzed off his boot and rippled the back of the net, it's just a thing of beauty. Like, it was a work of art. And he is someone that we want to see more of. Let him play, let him do his thing. We give him the space, we give him the time. Whether he starts on the left or he starts in the internal corridor, I don't mind it, because this is the player who can exploit space. He times his run into those central areas at the right time. He reads the play. He's got those attacking instincts. The ball can cut back to him, or he can dribble on his own and advance to a shot-taking position. He's just a beautiful footballer to watch. Just very elegant ball striking is there. He's got all the flair as well, and just someone who, at this time of the season, can you imagine if we are getting the ball to Eze's feet in those sorts of positions? Special things are going to happen. I'm absolutely here for it. I hope he's not injured. I'm hoping that was just maybe a bit of a knock or something he felt. He was actually trying to take another shot late on in the match against Leverkusen. Maybe he felt something, and such is the nature of Arsenal season. We are risk averse. Anything that's you feel, put your hand up. We want to take precautionary measures. I'm hoping he just came off and he's fine for the weekend against Manchester City in the EFL Cup final. And of course, the remaining fixtures of our season, because he's someone who I really feel can write their legacy at Arsenal in these remaining few months. So we get to halftime at 1-0, which was thoroughly deserved, by the way. Leverkusen would probably be pretty happy that it wasn't more, that there wasn't more damage inflicted, because really we could have put the tie to bed in that first half. But this is the Champions League. This is elite level football now. Like, nothing is given. You have to earn everything. You cannot just rest on your laurels and thinking that one goal is going to be enough. We've been there before, haven't we? In such tight margins, late on in matches where we don't need those nervy finishes. You don't want to give them a sniff, give them a sense of hope. And David Raya epitomizes this. Once again, he has stepped up in a key moment with another world-class save late on to keep Leverkusen out. Like, he's having a worldie of a season. He's a world-class goalkeeper, like I've repeatedly said. He will get his accolades if or when Arsenal lift those major trophies. David Raya's standing is going to be elevated amongst Europe and the world's elite goalkeepers. He was outstanding yet again. And one of the real hallmarks of a great goalkeeper. You've seen it all the way through in my football watching time. The likes of Alisson or Schmeichel, the really big goalkeepers. Seaman has done it before as well for Arsenal. Jens Lehmann, is that they can be relatively quiet all game. And across the 90 minutes, they've got to stay mentally alert, stay focused, stay sharp, because at any random moment, they could be caught upon. And when it's their time to go, do it and do it well. And the way Raya has reacted to this shot, it wasn't just the save itself. Like I repeatedly said, the difference between a good goalkeeper and a great goalkeeper is palming the ball away. We know that David Raya has big hands, strong hands, but to deflect the ball out of the danger area. How many times do you see a keeper save the ball with a reaction, but it just gets rebounded into the danger area for a tap-in or some chaos from another forward who might be charging onto the ball, or an own goal even? Anything could happen. But no, Raya takes that off the table. He gets the ball out. He gets it completely out of the danger area. He's done it so many times this season, even against Spurs a few weeks ago. The way he's been able to react, and the ball was behind him, but clear it off the goal line and get it out for a corner. That is world-class goalkeeping instincts. It's priceless, because what we don't want, we've had it enough at Arsenal this season, is those really tight, nervous finishes. If you concede a goal to Leverkusen with just a few minutes on the clock, they've already made all their attacking subs. They're going to throw the kitchen sink to get an equaliser and then try and push the game into extra time. That's absolutely what we don't want. And thanks to David Raya, he said, no, you're not getting through my house. And collectively as a defensive unit, we have that mentality that they protect this goal like their lives depended on it. And I'm absolutely here for it. It is brilliant. So the second goal now came through Declan Rice again. Like, in terms of big game players, he encapsulates that. Declan Rice's legacy, he is continuing to write new chapters in his story. That's an amazing shot, by the way. Absolutely amazing. You've probably all seen the same replays that I have. The way he has aimed it just inside the post, it's unsavable. I said to my sons watching at the time, you could have two goalkeepers. They're not saving that, because the way he's got the bend on the ball, it just kisses the inside of the post and hits the side netting. Very reminiscent, by the way, of his free kicks against Real Madrid around this time last season in the quarterfinal. Yeah, he kissed the inside of the side netting on that same goal side as well, by the way. So there's something about Declan Rice in the Champions League. It was an incredible finish. And then once again, it comes from Arsenal taking those shots on goal from central positions. We see it, and whoever's close to it just have that attacking instinct to say, no, it's my ball, I'm going to take the shot. And you get rewarded that. Repeatedly doing that time after time, you will get rewards for that. As good as their goalkeeper was, and he had many saves, he had many moments, full credit to him. These two goals that Arsenal scored were absolutely world-class, worthy of winning any game of football, especially in a European Champions League knockout tie. They were absolutely worthy goals to see Arsenal advance. And how does the song go? Declan Rice, we got him half price. Yeah, absolutely. You'd pay that money again, wouldn't you? £105 million, and this is one of the game-changing signings for Arsenal at the time. What he has done, the elevation, the transformation for Arsenal to have someone of his caliber, world-class powerhouse midfielder, the likes of which we haven't had since the great Patrick Vieira. This is Declan Rice's time. And just what another outstanding performance from him, and so many more to come. I feel, touch wood, of course, fingers crossed. I feel there's so much more for him. He's a man who's got that hunger in him. He wants the big occasion. He wants to play Sunday against Manchester City in the EFL Cup. He wants to play the big Premier League matches. He wants to be playing every minute of them. He's everywhere, dropping deep, picking up the ball, the interceptions, snuffing out danger, and then at the other end, charging forward when he sees a loose ball to come in and pound it home for a goal to basically seal the tie in Arsenal's favour. This is exactly who you want on the pitch at the right time. A leader in so many ways. He's a leader of men, and what an outstanding footballer to have in the midfield for Arsenal. So elsewhere now, I'll just do a bit of a roundup of certain players and performances. I thought Gabriel and Saliba, they really had their work cut out in that first league, didn't they? Against that young man Kofane. That's someone I'm going to be keeping an eye on his career. As I've said repeatedly on this channel, I don't watch a lot of football outside of Arsenal, so many of you perhaps were well aware of him right before me. But every now and then I see a performance from a young player, and that makes me sit up and take notice. And he really gave Saliba and Gabriel a torrid time last season, and he was really throwing his weight around today too. I loved the battle. And post-match as well, there was a really nice moment between Saliba and Cavani, pat each other on the back. And I think Saliba was basically giving them the encouragement. You can just see with the body language, he was saying, well done to you, buddy. Best of luck to you. It was that type of respect. And there aren't too many players over the years that I've seen really troubled Arsenal like that. So full credit to Cavani. He did his best again tonight. That they really had very little to work with. So much of the game was played in Arsenal's final third. We really commanded. We bossed this game from start to finish. Even some of the other players who had good games in the first half. In the first leg, I think the one winner's name is Poku, and he was hooked as well in the second half. I didn't see too much of him this time. Hincapié had him well and truly covered. So it wasn't really the type of night where we were in any kind of mood to give anything away to Leverkusen, give them any moments. I don't know of any real major threat that they had aside from the Raya save that I've already mentioned. But aside from that, we weren't too troubled otherwise. We were intercepting balls, defending so well, blocking anything came out that way. Zubimendi a couple of times as well would nick in, swivel, drive forward. He had a couple of those commanding ones too. So we just had we had them well and truly covered tonight. It was a very, very commanding performance, not entirely reflected in the scoreline. Like if you were just checking the scores right now and you saw Arsenal 2-0, you might think, oh yeah, okay, that was maybe a bit of a regulation style win, but no, this was anything but. If this was 5 or 6-0, I don't think anyone would have questioned that. Is that an unfair result? It was that type of match, but we did what we needed to do. And we scored 2 world-class goals in doing so and a world-class save to keep them out. And this is what it takes at this level. You got to play every single minute to see it through. I thought Trossard was very good today. Great to see him back. He seems like he's been out for a couple of weeks now, but very, very good game from him. Again, he looked in the mood tonight, taking shots. That relationship between he and Eze, I guess we'll just continue to iron that out as time goes on. But from what I saw, very, very promising, because it's almost as if a few times they'd swapped. That Eze would start a bit more on the left-hand channel and Trossard would come interior and vice versa. So I'm sure they have their communication, their moments on the pitch where they know what they're going to do and switch things around. Keeps the opposition guessing, of course, from time. And like I've already mentioned that time where they kind of got in each other's way. But would I take that? Absolutely, of course. This is exactly what we want. We want that attacking threat, that instinct to come forward and command the ball and to take those shots. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Gyökeres, I thought, battled very well. I've already mentioned that he really, really wanted the goal. His touch, yes, can be a little bit clunky at times, but I think overall did well. And he shepherded the ball well at times, distributed. That was fine. It was a really good performance from him. There's a question over who starts this weekend against Manchester City in the cup final, and nice dilemmas to have, isn't it? Nice conversations to have. Elsewhere, I've already mentioned Rice was outstanding. Zubimendi, very good. Interesting, he came off for Norgard, so maybe we've got Sunday in mind as well to protect some players, protect the minutes in their legs as well, because the workload is just unrelenting. It's just non-stop, isn't it? Absolutely non-stop. Otherwise, I thought White, I thought very good. Mosquera came on, and they just slotted in seamlessly. Nice to see Lewis Skelly get some late minutes as well. When that sub board went off, I automatically thought, so Havertz will go forward and Lewis Skelly will sit in Zubimendi's position in midfield because Hincapié stayed out on the left, and that was great to see. So we're using the bench as well, using the likes of Norgard, Lewis Skelly. There's going to be a time where they're all going to have a moment to shine. It might be 30 minutes in a match, in a key game state, a key fixture, but they're all going to have their moments. I understand that there's been a lot of talk about Dauman. Even my sons were asking, when's Max Dauman going to come on? Like, such is their excitement around him. They were a bit disappointing that he didn't come on. But as I explained, it's in the right game state, the right time. That's when you utilize the option of Max Dauman. At the moment, I know Arteta is doing a lot to just protect him from the spotlight, just try and dial the volume down, the hype around him. You've got to do that. The young man's only 16. And had we been chasing a goal, if the game state needed that, with the scores are still level, or we need a late winner, of course, it's down in time. But in this game state, it wasn't the right time for him. Maybe on the weekend, depending on the game state at the time, Who knows? But the players who did perform, the players who stepped out onto the pitch, they absolutely delivered tonight. It was an outstanding collective performance across the board from Arsenal. And also, I should mention Saka, who again has been much spoken about because he was quite poor. I'm sure he would admit that too. Against Leverkusen in the first leg, Saka took a number of shots. I believe we took 21 shots in total this match. I don't know how many of them Saka constituted, but he took a number of shots on his right foot too. And that was noticeable to me as well, because I myself said it, I'm sure many others did too, that there was a bit of predictability with Saka last week, that he was too easily dispossessed because they would overload him, overload that left-hand side, knowing that he's going to come in onto his left foot, I should mention, to correct that. So this time he went outside. Right, he was sort of fake to cut in, thinking that they're going to try and block the shot again. But no, he would go outside and shoot on his right. And it took some good saves to keep him out too. He struck with power. So this was a much more encouraging performance from Saka. And it's just what we want to see players now. We want that healthy competition. We want to be having these conversations that who is ready to step up now. And I strongly believe Bukhaya's going to have his time as well. Maybe on Sunday, I don't know. But from what I saw from Saka, he was fine to me. Overall, just a really positive performance, a really positive night for all involved at Arsenal. It's just, when you look at where the club is positioned now, comparative to, say, Manchester City, I know they've gone out against Real Madrid. I haven't watched a minute of that, by the way. I just checked the score. I saw there was a red card too. I'm not too sure what happened there. But you look at Manchester City of late, the way they dropped points to West Ham over the weekend, just in just a couple of hours after Arsenal won it late against Everton. I've got no doubt that's impacted their morale, their mentality. And then you look at the way they performed tonight again against Real Madrid. They got thumped last week, and they had a heavy task trying to turn that around. But then, they bowed out of the Champions League too. They're limping their way through this season. They're kind of hobbling their way towards the AFL Cup final on Sunday. Conversely, look at Arsenal's momentum. Look at this wave of energy we've got now, the positivity around the club, the spring in our step. The Arsenal lads are probably keen as to play this game in the next day or two, right? But from a City point of view, right, they're probably quite lethargic, quite downbeat. And this is the time. This is the time where you want to see that ruthless Arsenal. Give them nothing. Put the foot on the throat and kind of kick them while they're down, because it's happened to us so many times, right? Where our misery has been compounded by a couple of heavy defeats in succession. Now is our time. This is Arsenal's time. Go into Sunday, right? Slay the dragon. Win it against them. Keep them while they're down, because then that can then propel what we do in the remaining few months of the league season and the Champions League. This is our time now. We have worked so hard to be here, and we're on the precipice. We're on the cusp of something very, very special. You don't take your eye off the ball now. Now's the time when you put the foot to the throat, put the foot to the floor, and you go for it. And I'm so proud. I'm so thrilled with what Arsenal are putting together this season. Long may it continue. It is just brilliant. And like me, you're probably still smiling as well, right, from Sunday and what you've seen here tonight as at the Emirates Stadium, or this morning, depending on where you're watching it across the world. And I can't wait for Sunday as well. I'm not too keen on the kickoff time, Sunday night UK time. It's at 3:30 a.m. kickoff time here on Monday morning. That's going to be a tough one, but this is all part of the journey. If we win, I won't care, of course. I'd happily do it again and again. So on that note, I'm going to bring this one to a close. Please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Leave me your thoughts, leave me your comments, please. I read every single word. Please follow the show on Apple or Spotify if you listen on audio. Please leave me a 5-star review. It really helps boost engagement. Leave me any comments or feedback. Thank you so much for all the support. And just enjoy it, please, everyone. There's so much noise happening around Arsenal and around the globe. There's so much happening. Do your best, please, just to filter that out and invest in what brings you joy. Check in with your loved ones. I'll talk to you all again soon, okay? And come on, Arsenal.